Hey, what's going on, everybody? This your boy James from What's Your Forte, and today I'm going to be answering the question: is the Panasonic G85 still a good camera to buy in 2020? Let's get it.
Perfect.
Alright, so the Panasonic G85 has been the camera I've been using for the last 7 months. Most of the videos you've seen on my channel have been done with the Panasonic G85. It's been a great camera to start off with. Before I started this YouTube thing, the most camera experience I ever had in my life was using a camera phone. As most people that I know of, we didn't grow up taking a lot of photos with anything other than your phones, or if you had like the little old Polaroids, the instant prints, or even just going to get a disposable camera. So that was all of my experience I've had with a camera before owning this Panasonic G85. So this is my first ever semi-professional camera, so to speak. So how has it been so far? So this camera has been great so far. It has a lot of great specs. Right now you currently can pick it up brand new for about $697. If you're going to B&H, I've seen it used on the used market for as low as $400, $450 body only. It does come with a kit lens. The kit lens that it comes with is a Panasonic 12 to 60 millimeter. So, and this is a micro four thirds camera. So now let's go into, I want to explain first for those that are not quite sure what micro four thirds is, the sensor size and all that. I'll go into that very, very briefly. So this camera, again, like I stated, is a micro four thirds camera. So what that means is the sensor on the inside of this camera is a 2 times crop compared to a full frame sensor. So what that means is whatever the focal length and whatever the aperture is on the micro four thirds listed for the micro four thirds lenses, you're gonna have to double that to equal what you would get in a full frame equivalent. So this is a 12 to 60 kit lens, so this is going to be equivalent to a 24 to 120 if you're talking for full frame equivalent, which is a pretty standard kit lens focal length. The one issue that a lot of people have with micro four thirds cameras is the low light performance, and that's due to the fact that they don't open as wide. As the sensor is very small, doesn't let as much light in as it does in a full frame sensor. Just to kind of give you an idea, the aperture on this kit lens is 3.5 to 5.6. So that doesn't sound too bad, but once you multiply it times 2, because of the crop factor and the aperture is also cropped, you're looking at a 7 to a 11.2 aperture. So that's not very bright, and I have noticed this camera in low light situations. If I don't leave it at 12 open all the way up, if I start to zoom in a little bit, it does start to lose a lot of the quality and does look pretty bad in low light situations, at least with the kit lens. So one thing I will state, if you're going to shoot a lot of low light and you have a micro four thirds camera, get a fast prime lens and use lighting whenever you can. So that's just my tip there if you happen to use a micro four thirds camera. Alright, so now let's go ahead and run down some basic specs of the camera. The sensor is like the sensor has a 16 megapixel sensor. So let's go ahead and break down the basic specs of the Panasonic G85. So it has a 16 megapixel sensor, micro four thirds sensor, which I already stated before. It has a 3-inch vari angle LCD screen, which is touch as well. So makes it very handy if you need a video yourself, if you want to vlog, do anything like that. You can do it very easily with this setup because you can see actually what's going on here, which is one of the reasons I did purchase this, because this is my YouTube camera. It does have Wi-Fi, so you can send all the photos, JPEGs and stuff straight to your phone, video straight to your phone. It works very fast. I've done a lot of different things using the Wi-Fi app, using the Panasonic Image app, and it's a great app. And I may do a video on that as well if you guys would like to see that, exactly what's in the app, what's included, and how that actually works. The camera is capable of shooting 4K, 24, and 30p, and that's 100 megabits is the bit rate on that. It can also do 1080 at 30 and 60. The megabits drops about half when you go to 1080. So typically I shoot in 1080 60. And sometimes I shoot in 4K. But since my laptop, my computer right now is kind of old right now, so I haven't been shooting a lot in 4K. But the 1080, as you all have seen, a lot of my videos looks very good. It comes straight out in the camera. I don't really do a whole lot of color correction. I do a little bit. I use a Final Cut Pro to edit. I don't do a whole lot messing with the colors, and maybe I'll bring, if I had the exposures a little off, I mess with that, bring some shadows out, just a tad, and that's about it. I don't do much. And I shoot on the natural color profile that is built within the camera. So, I mean, most stuff that comes straight out of the camera looks great. So I don't have any issues with that. So that's probably the basic specs. You know, I'm not trying to give you a full review. I just want to state, is it still good in 2020? So 2020, there's a lot of competition, but I think if you can pick this up used around, you know, 400, 450 range, this is a great pickup, a great starter YouTube camera. It has everything you need. It has a good, nice body. I have pretty big hands, and I can almost, you know, the grip on it right here is very, very big and very large. Has a very large indent there, so you can get a good grip, and it's very comfortable. I mean, I haven't had any issues handling this, taking it in different situations, holding it, you know, the portrait style, landscape style. I haven't had any issues holding it there so far. So what I want to do right now is actually talk about, you know, the picture quality that you can get out of this. So what I'm going to do is share some pictures with you. As you can see here on the screen, this first picture here is a picture that I took in Uptown Charlotte. It is a picture of just, you know, just a standard, the trains going by. Caught it there. So as you can see here, I mean, this is straight out the camera. This is a JPEG image. This is at the 12 millimeter and f5.6. So as you can see here, I mean, I know editing has been done on this picture, and it looks pretty decent. I mean, you definitely do some editing to bring the sky out a little more, and you can bring some shadows and stuff like that. But straight out of the camera, I mean, if you were to share this on Instagram or whatever, I mean, this looks pretty. This looks decent. This looks very good, I think. So let's go ahead and go to the next one. The next photo here is just me, a photo of me taking a picture of something else. This is a bee pollinating a flower here. So as you can see here, this was taken at 55 millimeters at f5.6. So there isn't a whole lot of, there's a little bit of separation you can see, especially around my elbow from that to the picture. Like I said, this is a Micro Four Thirds. You're not gonna be able to get a whole lot of that depth of field bokeh. This wasn't the real goal of this picture, to try to get that. So, but as you can see here, the picture does look pretty sharp, and you can kind of just see what it looks like right there. So let's go on to the another picture here. So this is another city picture here. So this is just showing, you can see the bricks there, how they pop out, and then you have the nice building in the background there. But yeah, you can see the shadows. You can kind of see some contrast. The sky's a little, well, this was a very cloudy day. So the sky really did look like that. But as you see it there, it really did look like that. So the camera did a good job picking that up. I'm pretty sure in post, like I said, this is straight out the camera, JPEG. I just want to show y'all guys what the camera is capable of straight out the box. So this is straight out of that. So yeah, it looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and show you the next picture. This picture here is a bunch of BMWs. I take pictures of cars a lot. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram, definitely go follow me on Instagram, _what's your forte. I post a lot of pictures up there of landscape, portraits that I've taken of other people, you know, video. I do a lot of stuff that I post on my Instagram, so definitely go follow me, man. But this picture here, I didn't nail the exposure, but this is kind of, this was shot at a 67 millimeter at f22. So I wanted to, I didn't put an ND filter or anything on it so I can drop the f-stop. I just wanted to make sure everything was in focus for this picture. This is kind of one of many pictures that I took that day. But as you can see here, it picked up the detail on the road. I think I kind of missed the focus a little bit because I wanted to kind of focus in the middle. But I mean, with f22, it kind of put everything back in focus for me for my focus point. But as you can see here, you kind of just see how the cars look and how everything looks there. So I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, you could do a little bit of editing maybe in this and post it on Instagram, and it's definitely postable. So looks pretty good. So we'll go into the last image I would like to share. So this is an image of just the inside of my own current BMW. So this is a picture I took of the wheel, and I just recently installed some paddle shifters there. So there's just a picture of that. So as you can see here, there's a lot of detail, and if you can tell here, so you can see a little bit of separation from the wheel just to even the dash. So this was taken at a 25 millimeter focal length at f2.8. So and you're probably wondering how you get f2.8 if he was using the kit lens. So this picture I was not using the kit lens. So I just kind of wanted to show you really what you can do once you start investing in the primes. So I will be doing a video following up this, talking about the other lenses that I use with this camera, because I have a nice prime lens and I have a nice zoom lens also that can get you some very unique type of pictures. But those videos are coming up soon. So if you haven't subscribed, you got to subscribe. Just hit that notification bell, and then you can get the update when I drop those videos on those other lenses that I use. But going back to this picture, so this was shot 25 millimeter f2.8. So if you want to think of a full frame equivalent, that'd be a 50 millimeter. That'll be like a 5.6 f5.6 there. So so you still was able to get a little separation with the background. This was yeah, I mean, you can really see the quality here. You can see just even the little detail they picked up in the wheel here. So yeah, man, I think this picture looks very good. I actually did post a picture sort of looks very similar to this on my Instagram. I really like the way this picture turned out. There's a little bit of light shining through the window when I took this, so it just lighted the picture up very nicely. Gave me some good contrast and good shadows there, man. So yeah, man, so just looking at those pictures there, I mean, you can kind of see this camera could take some good pictures, even though it's only a 16 megapixel sensor. You know, most people frown upon that, like, man, that's such a small sensor. Like, my phone has more megapixels than that, this and that. But as you can see, I mean, this camera is capable of processing, you know, and producing a lot of good images. Sometimes you can't always go off the specs, man. You know, it's all about how all the components work together and what the final product looks like. So sometimes I don't like to try to go off fully what's the best specs and what's actually going to produce the results that I'm looking for. So definitely. Now I wanted to get into video. So as I stated before, this camera is capable of good 1080 video, 1080p video, and good 4K video. So what I want to do is show a clip that I took. So I kind of do just video and marketing for a couple for Euro Empire, my car shop in the area. So I kind of want to show a video here. It's 56 seconds, quick video what I was able to achieve using the Panasonic G85. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that right now. All right, so as you can see there, I mean, the video was sharp. I was able to pull the rack to focus a little bit. I was able to pull the focus. I was able to get some pretty decent shots. And that was using the 25 millimeter f1.7 lens that I will be reviewing here very shortly. So subscribe if you want to see that. But I was able to record that using that lens, and you know, I didn't have any additional lights, any additional lighting or anything set up. That's straight camera and the lens, and that one in handheld. So that's one of the things I do want to talk about with this camera, especially for the video shooters. This camera does have 5-axis image stabilization built into the body of the camera. So that allows you to be able, this is one of the main selling points that made me choose this over the G7. Because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of handheld shots, a lot of handheld holding videos, vlogging, stuff like that. So I know the stabilization was going to be a big factor for me. So that's what made me choose this over like something like a G7. Because this G7 has a lot, it's very similar. I think the image processor is a little bit different, and this has body's image stabilization. But other than that, the way some of the buttons and the SD card slot and the way the battery is lined up. Other than that, it's basically almost the same type of camera, just a few upgrades. So, you know, the G7 is a lot cheaper than this, but this has this in-body stabilization, and that's what sold me on getting the G85. And as you saw in that video, I was able to hand hold it. I didn't do any post stabilization. That is straight out in the camera. So if you got steady hands and use good breathing techniques, you can achieve some great steady video using the stabilization inside the camera. Also, if you have a stabilized lens, you're able to use both and get like a dual stabilization between the lens and the body, and you can just pretty much, I mean, it's very gimbal like. So definitely one of the main selling points of this camera and reason why I purchased it myself personally. All right, so I kind of covered, you know, video, pictures, kind of covered a couple things there. So is this camera still good in 2020? Definitely, especially for the price. You can get it with the kit lens just to start out for under $1,000. I mean, you're golden. I mean, you can, and a lot of the Panasonic and the Micro Four Thirds line has a lot of great cameras, a lot of great selection you can choose from, and this camera is capable of doing a whole lot of different things. And I mean, I've enjoyed it so far. So far that I've had it, I've enjoyed it. You know, it shoots very good, very decent stills. If you're going to just share them on Instagram or just any kind of social media, does very good at video. And yeah, man, I mean, I haven't had any issues with it so far. And it's been very easy and very convenient to use. And the batteries and everything, all the other accessories that I try to pick up for it have been pretty cheap. So, I mean, you can't beat it. I mean, if you're just getting into the game, no need to go out and try to buy the most expensive full-frame camera out there. I mean, I just don't think it's worth it for a beginner, because you're not going to be able to use it to its full potential, because you kind of don't know what you're doing. Kind of like me. I didn't know what I was doing when I first started and got into the video photo game. So I decided to pick this up. It was cheap. It was it came with good features. It came with everything I need, and the stabilization definitely helped me out to get good at shooting video. Because I didn't have to worry about my footage being stabilized. I didn't worry about hooking up a gimbal and doing all that stuff. So it definitely made it worth it, man. So 2020, if you want to get started and you're looking for like a starter cam to start your vlogs or videos or anything like that with, Panasonic G85 is a winner, man. I say pick it up, especially if you can find it used for around $400 or $500. Man, you can't beat it. Definitely. So that's my thoughts on the impressions on the Panasonic G85. I say get it in 2020 if you're a starter, if you're a rookie out here just trying to get into the video game. This is a good camera to start with, man. I mean, you will not be disappointed with it. Like I said, the only only bad thing about it is in low light situations you will need probably bring in a secondary light. But other than that, you'll be good to go. So that's all I had to say today. Hope y'all like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know how you think about this video. I know everyone is kind of locked in their house right now. I can't go out only for essentials. So I'm going to try to bring y'all a bunch of reviews on the gear that I'm using to make all my videos and take photos with. So y'all going to be seeing a lot of these videos coming soon, man. So y'all let me know down below what you think of them, all right? So I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.